The rental ad was too good to be true. A spacious two-bedroom apartment in downtown Chicago for half the market price. When Marcus called the landlord, the old man's voice crackled through the phone with barely concealed desperation. "It's been vacant for a while," he admitted. "Previous tenant left suddenly, but the place is perfectly fine, perfectly safe." Marcus should have questioned that pause, that emphasis on safe. But he was broke, recently divorced, and desperate for a fresh start. He signed the lease that afternoon. Flat number 18 sat at the end of a dimly lit hallway on the 4th floor of the Blackwell Apartments, a pre-war building that smelled of old wood and something else, something faintly metallic that Marcus couldn't quite place. The brass numbers on the door were tarnished, the 8 hanging slightly crooked. The landlord handed him the keys with trembling fingers. "Don't go into the second bedroom," he said suddenly. "What?" Marcus laughed. "I mean," the old man caught himself, "it's just storage. Locked. Lease doesn't include it. You've got the main bedroom, living room, kitchen, bathroom. That's plenty, right?" It was strange, but Marcus needed the apartment. He agreed. The first night was quiet. Too quiet. The building seemed to absorb sound. No neighbors, no traffic noise from the street below, nothing. Just a thick, oppressive silence that pressed against Marcus's ears like cotton. He unpacked his meager belongings and tried not to look at the locked door of the second bedroom. A heavy padlock secured it, and someone had covered the doorframe with what looked like salt. White crystals crunched under his shoes when he walked past. Just superstitious previous tenants, he told himself. At 3:17 a.m., Marcus awoke to the sound of scratching. It was coming from inside the walls, slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging across plaster. He sat up in bed, heart pounding, listening. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Then it stopped. Marcus exhaled slowly. Rats. Old building, probably had rats. He'd called the landlord in the morning. But when he lay back down, he heard something else. Softer. Almost imperceptible. Breathing. Not his own. This was different. Labored. Wet. Coming from somewhere in the apartment. Marcus grabbed his phone, turned on the flashlight, and swept it around the bedroom. Nothing. The breathing continued, and it was getting closer. Marcus threw back the covers and walked into the living room following the sound. It led him to the locked door of the second bedroom. He pressed his ear against the door. The breathing was right on the other side, and then, barely above a whisper, he heard it. "Let me out." Marcus stumbled backward, his phone clattering to the floor. The breathing stopped. The apartment fell silent again. He didn't sleep the rest of that night. The next morning, Marcus called the landlord. The old man's response was immediate and sharp. "Did you go into the second bedroom?" "No, but..." "Then there's no problem. Keep that door locked. Don't go near it. You're fine." "Someone's in there," he insisted. "I heard..."
"You heard nothing. Old building. Pipes. Wind. Your imagination. Do not open that door." The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone, then at the locked door across the apartment. The salt line had been disturbed, as if something had swept through it from the inside. He should leave, pack his things, and go. But where? He had no money, no other options. And in daylight, the apartment seemed normal enough. Maybe he had imagined it. Stress, lack of sleep, the divorce had messed with his head. He convinced himself to stay. The scratching returned that night. Louder, more frantic, and this time it wasn't just in the walls, it was on the door itself. Long, slow scrapes that made Marcus's skin crawl. "Let me out! Please, let me out!" The voice was clearer now, female, young, desperate. Against every instinct, screaming at him to run, Marcus approached the door. "Who are you?" Silence. Then, "He locked me in here. He said I was being punished. Please, I'm so hungry, I'm so cold. Please, let me out." Marcus's hand reached for the padlock before his mind could stop him. But then he noticed something that made his blood freeze. There were scratches on the inside of the door, deep gouges in the wood, and underneath them, dark stains that looked like dried blood.
He pulled his hand back. "You're not real," he whispered. "You can't be real." A long pause, then the voice changed. Deeper, colder, no longer pleading. "I'm real enough, and I'm getting out whether you help me or not." The scratching intensified. The entire door shuddered in its frame. The padlock rattled violently. Marcus ran back to his bedroom and slammed the door, pushing his dresser against it. The scratching continued all night, sometimes on the bedroom door, sometimes on the walls, sometimes on the ceiling directly about his bed. And through it all, that voice, now multiple voices, layered and wrong. "Let us out! Let us out! Let us out!" By morning, Marcus was done. He'd pack and leave, lease be damned. But when he opened his bedroom door, he found the apartment transformed. The locked door to the second bedroom stood open. The padlock lay on the floor, broken. The door itself hung askew on its hinges, covered in scratches from the inside. And beyond it, Marcus couldn't see into the room. It was completely dark, despite the morning sun streaming through his living room windows. The darkness seemed solid, almost liquid, refusing to let light pass through. But he could smell it. That metallic scent he'd noticed on the first day, now overwhelming. Copper. Blood. And then he saw them. Footprints. Small, bare, leading from the dark room into his apartment. Wet, red, leading to his bedroom. Someone had been in his room while he slept. Someone had stood over his bed. Someone had touched his things with bloody hands. Marcus ran. He didn't grab his belongings, didn't take anything except his phone and keys. He burst into the hallway and nearly collided with the landlord, who was standing there, face pale, holding a priest. "You opened the door," the old man whispered. "Oh God, you opened the door." "I didn't. It was locked. I didn't." "It doesn't matter," the priest said grimly. "She's out now, and she'll follow you. Once she's seen you, once you've heard her voice, she won't stop until—" Marcus didn't wait to hear the rest. He ran down the stairs, out of the building, onto the street. He ran until his lungs burned and his legs gave out. That was 6 months ago. Marcus lives in a different city now, different state, different life. But he still hears it sometimes, late at night when he's alone. Scratching, breathing, and that voice, soft and patient. "You let me out. Now I'm never leaving."
He's tried everything. Blessed water, salt lines, moving again and again. Nothing works. Because the thing from flat number 8...
Because flat number 18 isn't just a place, it's a door. And some doors, once opened, can never be closed again.
If these stories sent chills down your spine, don't vanish into the darkness without hitting that like button. Share your scariest experience in the comments below, because your story might be featured next. And remember, the scariest thing is missing out. So subscribe now, before the next nightmare finds you.